Scott, you back and you're talking nonsense, just like in the other video. Like, why are you telling us that this $1,000 Dell Optiplex with 8 gigs of RAM, a 250 SSD, no dedicated video card, no Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi, has a laughable size of power supply and cooler in it makes any sense? I'm telling you it does. And this is a business class computer, and it's a true business class machine. This is not a sponsored video. If we would cover all the Dell logos on these Optiplex desktops, it could be HP or Lenovo. They are awesome. They are built differently than your gaming computer or custom built computer for a different reason. If we're looking at these business class machines, and let's see where are they at. On the top of the list, it's healthcare. And then it's gonna be government, education, anything serves a customer, they're gonna be under the desk, and that's what they are for, and that's what they built for. And as of today, after many failure, we still cannot replace these computers. Not in a business environment. I've been doing IT for 25 years. My first IT job was in Europe, and our company was a small company. I was just an employee. We were tasked to build 400 computers for a hospital. For a small company, an order like that with a potential grow to go to other hospitals, because this was in a system, is huge. Of course, we were not fully experienced to deal with anything on a scale like that, but we were experienced enough that we know that the warranty and how reliable those 400 computers will pave our future. If the computer holds up and a computer going to be trouble-free, we're probably going to get another contract. And we're probably going to be able to do maybe just desktops first, and then maybe we can do servers and networks and other stuff. So maybe we can get into different part of the business. Maybe we can earn our place in a hospital business. So we picked the best components which you could just possibly could. We were lucky because Intel was still making motherboards by Intel. So we got an Intel motherboard from one vendor. We got Intel CPUs from another vendor. We got Kingston memories, I believe, from another vendor. We got power supplies and computer cases from another vendor. The motherboard wasn't integrated, so we needed a video card. So we got a video card from somebody. And everything had to be identical. The 400 computers, every single component had to have the same model number inside. It could not be any different. The hospital requiring us to have the smallest case what we could possibly come up with. Not only that, but they required it had to be white. They didn't want to see a silver case, a black case, a gray case. It had to be white. For some reason, back in the day, this is what the client were requiring us to do. So we had to go with that. That eliminated 90 or 95% of the computer cases on the market. And not only that, but the 400 component had to be exactly the same. So a lot of vendors fell out. We could only go with the larger distributors. And everything was great for a few months, and then some of the RAM started failing. Even with Kingston, there were some problems. I believe, I might be wrong or could be wrong, but there were a couple cases. No big deal. We called the hospital. Hey, we can just ship 50 modules out to you, and all you have to do is pull the side cover off, pop the RAM in, and you're good to go. And they said no. Nope. You sold these computers. You have your own warranty. Please send somebody out, because we don't have time to deal with this, because there's a lot of computer out. It's in a hospital pharmacy. It's in an emergency room. It's under a doctor. The computer cannot fail, and we don't have time for that. We don't have a large enough staff to fix your computers, but you sold us with your warranty. And then something else happened. The power supply started failing, and a failure rate was about 10 power supply a week. The hospital was, I think, 4 hours from us, just to drive out one direction. So obviously we had to find another company, a third-party company, who was doing auto warranty replacement for us. We had to pay that, or eventually I think the hospital agreed to back charge us for replacing the power supplies and the RAM in these computers. It was a mess. It's a lifetime experience what you learn about how important is the computer in healthcare or anywhere else when you have a law office who's billing a customer maybe $1,000 or $500 every hour to have a solid computer. And if I put this computer out on your desk, I know that this computer will last for 5 to 7 years because Dell has 3 years on-site next business day warranty. If there is any problem with the hardware, it's not a Windows issue, Dell will try to fix this or troubleshoot this remotely, and if they can't do it, they send their tech out on their time with their parts. And they do all the warranty because every single thing you pointed out is not cool about this PC is covered by the same manufacturer, by the same warranty, by the same company. Yes, if you're looking at this PC with this laughable stats, that 8 gig 250 SSD and the 13 Gen i5, it's $1,000 and we can get a very same budget and we can pull an i5 or even an i7 just for a teeny tiny bit more, significantly better cooling, significantly better power supply. Your motherboard might have 5 years of warranty, your video card. You can put an RTX 4060 into this with the same budget. Isn't that crazy? A 1 terabyte SSD instead of 250, 16 gigs of RAM instead of 8 for the same budget. And why we wouldn't do that? And that's why, because your motherboard warranty belongs to somewhere else. And if anything happens, which happens, doesn't matter who's the manufacturer, doesn't matter if it's Dell, HP, it's Asus, it's MSI, it's ASRock, it could be anybody. Sooner or later, something will happen. Even they have the best intention for their parts to last as long as it possible. A BIOS update, anything can cause just a solid state failing. And Dell is not making, or HP is not making solid states. It has to come from somewhere. There's a bad batch. There is a bad model. Something was wrong through manufacturing or by design, and you are covered. I'm a part of a small IT supporting group. We are supporting over 1,000 computers in a business environment, and it's only a few of us or a handful of us. We cannot do that with custom parts and computers, with gaming computers. This is what we do, and this is what we are familiar with. That's all we have. We are very familiar. If something starts failing into these computers, which a few years ago it did, or quite a few years ago it did, after a Windows update, one of the network card driver failed, which is awful because these computers don't even have Wi-Fi. You pointed out already, and there is a reason why we don't have Wi-Fi, because if this is in a hospital, medical environment, I want all my computers hardwired. The Wi-Fi just would be slower, less secure, and a potential issue. It happened before when we had a computer with Wi-Fi in a front desk and it connected to an open network by accident and nothing worked. It wasn't even a malicious attempt to hijack a computer or connect to an unsecure network. A new company came in and they had an open Wi-Fi and a front desk machine with a Wi-Fi in our environment connected, and a printer stopped working, the shared drive stopped working, and it was a mess. So if we don't need a Wi-Fi, we don't need a Wi-Fi. We have to disable it or completely take it out of the computer. There are features. If it's less, it's better for us because it's a point of failure to have things what we don't need. We don't need a 4060 Ti or an RTX in a front desk in a hospital reception area when you check in. We don't need that. We need a small size computer which will run 5 to 7 years without a glitch. See you in 5 or 7 years. That's what I say, because they last. And even when they done in a business class environment, like this one lasted 7 years. It's an Optiplex all-in-one. This computer will get a brand new SSD. We're gonna double the RAM, and it will go back to the same exact customer, but it will be in a home environment. This will be a backup machine to remote back into the office it needs to be, or could be something to browsing and open up emails in a pinch. Still functional. This machine will still last 3 to 5 years based on my experience. This machine is an Optiplex from 14 years ago. This was in a pharmacy. The specs are also laughable on these computers. Lasted 10 years without the glitch in a pharmacy, which means 24/7. It's not your gaming computer, which is maybe on all the time and nothing really happening, maybe 4 or 5 hours a day, and maybe 12 hours gaming over the weekend, maybe the computer is sleeping. These are not. These are on every single minute for that 7 years. They don't go to sleep. Everything has to be up and running. Multiple shift constantly rotating around these computers. Manufacturers, power companies, anything billing, water companies, utility companies, education, you name it, mostly healthcare. Let's look at this chart and let's see where all these business class desktops are really going once they were purchased. Look at the top of the list. It's healthcare and it's government. If you go to a hospital and check in, you go to even a fast food place, they have these business class machines for a reason, and we don't need the extra feature what we would get from the same amount of money. What we get is something super reliable. Any manufacturers, any OEM who building these computers, their intention is not to make you buy a computer every 2 or 3 years with a business class. They don't want you to buy a computer in 3 years. They want you to have 5 or 7 years on this platform and go right back to them because everything worked flawlessly. And that's what we're doing. That's why we haven't moved away from these computers. We tried to build these computers from PC part picker, and with our best intention, the computer wouldn't last more than 5 years. And in an accounting office, when it's tax season, they don't care if it's a motherboard issue, or it's a power supply issue, or it's a video card issue, or it's a RAM issue, and you have limited lifetime warranty. They don't care. They don't want a 2-week mail-in exchange. They want something in the next business day. In worst case scenario, but most likely in the next hour or two, you should show up. And with a lot of custom built parts, we cannot do that. We only can do this because these are standard machines with everything is engineered to the point and designed to the point to be super reliable and just work. So let me move these out of the way. I'm not a Dell technician. I am not affiliated with Dell. This could be an HP, could be a Lenovo. It's not, nothing would change how they look like or how they design. If you see one, you've seen pretty much all of them. I replaced 2 motherboards in the past 25 years. 2 with Dell. I replaced 1 CPU. I replaced a lot of RAM, but mostly because I had to upgrade. I replaced a lot of solid state because they needed a larger drive or because they failed because they are on 24/7 and constantly rotating. The SSD doesn't last forever, neither the hard drive. So let me see how long would it take me to rip every single component out with a single screwdriver. I don't have anything else, and this is a true business class, and this is the main benefit. Dell is also making sure that their Dell tech, whoever goes out, can do this job as fast as possible with the least amount of time and least amount of tools and least amount of training, because these are so simple. If you put a gaming computer together or build a gaming computer, this fan is probably going to give you like at least 5 minutes to install, get through the manual at the first time. Like some of them are universal. It could be an AMD, could be an Intel. You have to figure out what kind of plate, what kind of support system. Some of them has another fan on the other side. Sometimes it has a really long screwdriver, which you can reach only to secure some of the bolts. And while the Dell is a cooling system, it's pretty laughable by the side. It's very easy. I can probably take 10 of these out while you're still working on this. So again, I don't have experience. I'm not a Dell tech, not sponsored. Now let's see how long would it take me with the experience. 2 motherboard I replaced in the past 25 years. So let's get to it. Let's go. Screwless design in the back. Just a latch to pull the side cover off. Everything marked blue, which is removable or somehow you can do something with it. So even if you don't have a whole lot of experience, you still have a good idea what's going on. Front bezel has 3 blue dots on the top, just pops off. This has a latch system, no screw, just folds out. Let's take out the optical drive and let's take out the hard drive. What else left? RAM. Let's pop the RAM. Oh, it literally popped out. We got the RAM out. We got the solid state. We had a SATA drive in here. We have a solid state in here. The solid state doesn't have a screw. It has this little blue tin pin. The solid state drive is out. We have a post on a motherboard. This is holding this latch system. This is where this carry latches into and holds it in place. Power supply, we got 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. Okay, normal power supply has 4. Scott, you're really not convincing us. It's just one last screw. Yes, but if you have to do this a lot, that counts. The part how it's just snaps and clips everything its place, it's unbelievable. And power supply, let's see. Okay, so it's almost out. I have some clips holding the cables down here. That was not a great idea to do this. I'm telling you, I am not a Dell tech. Okay, so let's unhook the cables first. That probably makes more sense. Yeah, these are clipped down in here. Nothing is zip tied. Everything has its own place, has little metal ears, and I'm just bending off a teeny tiny bit off from the case. Okay, I think the power supply is finally free. Has a blue tip in here. I'm just pressing it down and the power supply is out. Okay, CPU, cooler, and a fan. This can be removed by removing the whole thing. It doesn't have to be taken apart like some of the custom cooling system needs to be. If you're on site, you need a single screwdriver to do all this. And I haven't started a timer. I'm probably gonna try to time stamp it when I'm editing this video. It's not gonna be a whole lot of editing, but I'm really wondering how long this actually takes. My guessing it would be less than 15 minutes to pull everything out and then put everything back in. Wow. Well, okay, here we go. All right, so cooling system is out. Yeah, we don't have thermal paste almost any. I'm assuming it's on the bottom. Yep, everything caked up as it should after 7 years. Let me clean this right off the bat out. Okay. Okay, so CPU is out. Let's do the motherboard. How many screws the motherboards normally have? Probably at least 9, 12, 14, depends on how large is the motherboard, what size it is. Okay, so 1, 2, okay, 3, 4, and 5. I think that's it. I think we only have 5. Ugh. Okay. I think there is one more screw in here. So looks like we have 4, 3 for a power supply, 1 for this front bracket. We have 5 plus a post, so that's 6. We have 10 screws in a whole entire computer to pull it out. And let's see if I can do this. Okay, so another one in here and another one in here. Okay, and the motherboard is out. I don't know, I haven't watched the time. We'll try to time stamp it. Let's put everything back and see how long would it take. So you can't beat that. We literally had 10 screws. I had no idea. we have 10 screws for a whole entire computer. That's probably less than your motherboard just by itself. So it's like unbelievable. And I can't emphasize that it's a business class computer. We don't need the extra other stuff. There are businesses, designers, engineers who need a video card, and Dell has an option for that as well. Creators, but this is truly business class. Most of them just need a browser, an Outlook, and everything else is just extra. So these are super reliable, what they were built for, and as of today, I still don't have a better option, a better alternative. They are pretty much irreplaceable for my customers. I am giving this laptop away. You're probably familiar with it. This is going to be the last announcement. I'm giving this particular laptop away. It's a Inspiron. We reviewed this at the end of last year. All you have to do is to get into the last giveaway is send me an email to this particular email address. Subject line, put last one in. All I need is a partial mailing address, the house number, and the name of the street. No zip code, no town, no state, nothing. All I need is just a US partial shipping address for future verification. I will not call you. I will not email you. I will not contact you. There's going to be a live winner announcement and drawing the lucky winner with a randomized generator, and I will ship this laptop out and it's all yours. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you think that the $1,000 desktop doesn't make any sense, make sure you watch my next video. It's gonna blow your mind. So I see you in the next video. Scott's out.